Located in the Sabi Sand Reserve, which in turn is part of the famed Kruger National Park in South Africa, Londolozi stands as one of the most exclusive and luxurious game reserves in all of Africa. Originally purchased by the Vardy family in 1926, it operated for close to half a century as a hunting safari lodge. Then, in 1974, brothers Dave and John Vardy made a radical departure and converted Londolozi into a photo safari lodge dedicated to protecting and conserving the natural wildlife. It was a major shift, not only for Londolozi, but for the entire safari tourism industry. And while today photo safari lodges exist throughout all of Africa, Londolozi stands as the premier destination within the continent. That Londolozi would lead the dramatic shift in focus within the safari industry isn't surprising. In the native language, the name Londolozi translates to protector of all things, and the Vardy family has led the way in its commitment to the environment, the natural wildlife, and the community it serves.
Londolozi is one of our preferred partners based largely on their ethos, the way they do business, the way they look after wildlife. The name Londolozi pretty much says it all. It's in Shangaan, it means protector of all things. And you know, they have a great ethos of giving back, working with communities, making sure that what they're developing in terms of a model is sustainable. And that resonates well with us because our business is exactly the same. Anything we create needs to be sustainable. And for tourism to be sustainable, we need to make sure that wildlife is sustainable, and therefore we have to work with partners that look after the environment and look after communities.
For first-time visitors to Londolozi, the experience can be overwhelming. From the luxurious living accommodations to the highly personalized and friendly service provided by its expert staff to the sumptuous meals, guests feel as if they've been transported to a time and place when attention to detail was the rule rather than the exception.
Londolozi is the original safari lodge in South Africa, founded back in 1976. Because it's owner-run and because it's a standalone, we put everything we've got into a total focus on delivering a great safari, close contact with animals for our visiting guests.
Located on the banks of the Sand River, the Londolozi Lodge consists of 5 different camps. Vardy Camp is the oldest and largest of the group, and the site of the original structures that were constructed in 1926 when the camp was founded. In many ways, it is the symbolic heart and soul of Londolozi. All rooms have private swimming pools framed by timber decks that overlook the riverine bush. The living spaces are raised off the ground and shaded under a cathedral of trees. The emphasis on family heritage means that families are always welcome at Vardy Camp. Tree Camp is aptly named as it sits high among the leadwood trees, giving guests a magnificent view of the landscape below. Elegance and simplicity are the hallmarks of Tree Camp. From its private swimming pools and contemplation decks to its chocolate-plated leather beds, this exclusive camp encompasses the beauty of the African landscape. Founders Camp consists of 7 chalets and 3 superior chalets and honors past guests who have contributed to building Londolozi. With an intimate view of the Sand River below, the newly refurbished Founders Camp has a young and vibrant feel to it that attracts modern-day families. Pioneer Camp is the most secluded of Londolozi's luxury camps and consists of 3 private suites, each with superb river views. Everything about Pioneer is an homage to a bygone era. From its spacious entrance halls to its luxurious living quarters designed with floor-to-ceiling glass sliding panels that frame the wilderness views beyond, to its classic Victorian-style bathrooms decorated with modern accents in marble, chrome, and mahogany finishes, Pioneer transports guests back in time to Londolozi's beginnings. The newest additions to Londolozi are the private granite suites. The emphasis at Granite is on space, light, and privacy that blurs the barrier between inside and out. Constructed out of the materials that mirror the granite rocks that surround Londolozi, each suite truly seems a part of the nature that surrounds it. a feeling emphasized by the large doors and windows that open directly onto the river. Each suite has its own private heated swimming pool and is perfect from honeymooners to small groups celebrating special occasions. Yet, as sumptuous as the accommodations are, what makes Londolozi so special are its people. The attention to detail, the unwavering warmth and friendliness, and the total commitment to guest satisfaction have earned Londolozi its place as one of the premier destinations in the world.
We have families that have worked for Londolozi for over 3 decades, and they in turn have enormous experience and tacit knowledge of this industry. And what's exciting is to see their sons and daughters coming through the ranks.
It doesn't feel like you're at work. It's like I always say to the guests, welcome to our home. You know, everything just becomes its home. You welcome guests into your house, you show them around, you give them food, you treat them well, and you say goodbye to them when they leave. It's just home.
It's an exceptional place. People are great. They go out of their way to make sure that even though you just have 3 or 4 days on safari, it's probably going to be the 3 or 4 best days of your life.
And while Londolozi consistently delivers an exceptional lodging experience, it is still the wildlife that draws visitors to South Africa and Londolozi in particular. With its unique location within Kruger National Park and its unwavering commitment to protecting and conserving the natural environment, Londolozi is able to deliver to guests an unparalleled safari adventure. An adventure that will bring it within touching distance of wildlife most have only seen on TV.
Its strengths are it allows the international traveller to come to Africa. It's a phenomenal experience that cannot be matched in the world.
The lodges are beautiful. All our camps are really stunning. But we always try and install that idea that it's not just about being in the lodge. The main reason people come out here is for the experience. And from the exquisite food we have to the amazing dining, entertainment and so on, there's everything here. But ideally it's about experiencing nature, being out in the bush, listening to wild animals, viewing wild animals, and really just enjoying yourself out in Africa.
It's a phenomenal experience. You know, everybody coming to Africa on a safari for the first time, the big thing is they want to see the Big Five. It is the Sabi Sands is one of those destinations, and Londolozi, where you're almost guaranteed to see the Big Five because they've invested so much in protecting the wildlife, protecting the landscapes, making sure that the habitats are good for game viewing. So, you know, the Big Five has always been the buzzword. People want to see the Big Five first. But when you get here, you'll see so much more, and you will be enchanted by the energy, the passion, the people, and everything else that goes with that wildlife experience.
Well, in this area that we're in, a lot of people are obviously attracted to the Big Five, the lion, leopard, buffalo, rhino, and elephant, which is all in this area. The great thing about being out here, though, and the experience you get out in the bush, is that you're going to see so much more. There's so much more to see. Different types of antelope, hippos, crocodiles. There really is an abundance of wildlife in this area, which is key. And by people arriving here, they'll soon see there's so much more to this natural habitat than just the Big Five and some of the larger animals. There really is a lot more going on that we don't always know about.
Yet, in addition to delivering an exceptional safari experience for its guests, for the Vardy family, staying true to the Londolozi credo of protector of all things means giving back to the rural community that surrounds it, and it does that by developing educational and economic opportunities for the local population.
The arrival of a guest here creates the opportunity for 200 people to get a job and for 2,000 dependents out in the rural areas that surround us. So the very simple fact is, if you come to Londolozi, you create opportunity for 2,000 people who are living, I won't say in poverty, but in rural conditions. We now have projects, digital learning centers, which are going to use the internet to leapfrog education around the world. the visitors to our establishment can see those learning centers, and their visit is part of participating in letting that happen. So the primary effort around us is literacy and digital learning for our immediate extended family and their dependents, and then the greater community.
Every guest that arrives at Londolozi is doing their part for, not just for conservation, but for communities in and around this area. A lot of people in rural areas that do not have the access to education and so on, Londolozi, through Good Work Foundation and so on, are helping a lot of these areas. And just by people arriving at Londolozi, even though they may not know it, are aiding in that cause and helping us a lot with education, AIDS victims, AIDS orphans. You know, we're really doing our best to educate the community and help where we can.
So we're all about conservation and restoration of landscapes, and we're all about the creation of opportunity for rural African people, for South Africans that live in and around the park. So there are added benefits to what is basically a great safari. So what surprises people is that it's way more than a safari. They are part of a contribution to a greater cause, whilst they're having a great opportunity to take close contact wildlife pictures. It is a global tribe working towards the restoration of Eden, or the restoration of landscapes of Africa, and the restoration of the human spirit via education and digital learning.
In many ways, Londolozi is at its core about restoration. Restoration of its environment, its wildlife, and the community it serves. And for the visitors to this remarkable place, it's about a restoration of spirit and soul, a reconnection with nature, the environment, and family and friends.
Around the world, we call it now the Londolozi, we call it the extended Londolozi family, or in modern day speak, the Londolozi tribe. We're developing a relationship with people, very, very interesting people, people who wish to be part of this idea all over the world.
Have fun, get reconnected to the earth, bring your kids along, have a family that can enjoy the bushveld together, check out the rules, and really push the envelope in terms of discovering who you are as a person.
We've recognized that time is very precious with family, so connecting the kids with their parents has definitely been a focus of what we're about, giving them an experience that would bring them closer together and would stay with them for many years to come.
A guest who's coming back to Londolozi is coming home. They're coming back to their family in Africa. They're coming back to have a good time, have some fun, and really get in touch with the wilderness.
Come and see for yourself. That's the main thing. You know, it's always difficult to explain to somebody what you've seen, what other people have seen. The real thing is to come and see for yourself. Experience this unbelievable natural habitat, these wild animals, the feeling you get when you touch down in Africa. It's just, it's indescribable. You know, you really will love it.